It's so sad that there was a time when people couldn't be who they really are. And as someone that's about the same age as you, I mean, that was during my lifetime as well. I don't know if you've like gone back to like things earlier than 2010, but like it's awful. Like, even just some TV shows that you watch the first time and you're like, oh, that's funny. And now you watch it and you're like, that's crazy. How do you feel like culture has changed for the gay community, even in the 10 years since you hit the scene and really pioneered it for us?
I mean, When I came off of Idol in 2009, so was that 13 years ago?
Oh my God, I don't even want to count.
I know, I've lost count.
It was last year for me.
Right. It was like a totally different landscape. It was like, we had like the kind of legends like Elton and George Michael at that point George Michael was outed, but we had a few out people. We had like Katie Lang and Melissa Etheridge. Like you had these staples, but currently, like there were when I was doing like the radio, scene, there weren't any gay men, and it was like, it was kind of like, okay. I was excited because I knew I was a part of like a new wave, a new time, and I knew that things were changing, and that was exciting. But it was also sort of confusing because I was like, well, I don't really know how this is supposed to work, and I don't really know what the boundaries are for me to like live in between. And I found out very quickly, like, coming off of Idol, right as I released my first single a year later, doing a performance on an award show that ended up being, too risque for people. And that was like a big, like, eye-opening moment where I was like, oh, right, okay, people are not ready for that on a mainstream level. And in fact, I got in trouble for it.
Yeah, I heard that.
And that's what the thing, I was like, okay, I can understand people like either like caring for it or not caring for it, but the fact that I got like penalized, that made me kind of go like, whoa, like this is a whole other level.
Do you feel like it's so different with the way that guys and girls are in the, even back then, the way that they're portrayed? Because I mean, like I'm a lesbian, obviously. Look at me. And I remember that I've been doing radio for like 15 years, and I've been able to be out the whole entire time. There was at one point a group of gay men radio personalities. It was a secret group that they couldn't come out because they knew that they would be treated so differently.
There was a double standard, and I noticed it. I mean, because I remember saying, basically what happened on that show is I kissed one of my musicians, and I sort of did some, suggestive choreography with one of the dancers. And I
hate how you have to call it that.
I mean, that's what it was. I mean, I grabbed his head and I put it in my crotch. So, I mean,
you know what?
And it
drama.
was, I mean, he was up for it. So
right.
it wasn't
yes,
like anything that was like forced, but, it was, I remember saying, well, but wait, Madonna and Britney and Christina just did that on the VMAs years ago. What's the problem? And it was like, well, no one wanted to say it, but it was probably because they were women that no one cared about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always been this.
And I went on a talk show. I was pulled off of GMA the next morning because that was the same network and they were freaked out. And I went over to a different morning show and I was talking about it, and they showed the clip of Britney and Madonna and Christina. And then they cut to a clip of me and the instrumentalists that I kissed, and our mouths were like censored. Like it was like blurred out.
Are you kidding me?
And I was like, what?
18 what?
and they went to commercial break, and I was like, what was that about? They're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, why were we blurred out? And they were like, oh, it's because it's more recent. And I'm like, what?
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it was very interesting.
Thank you for what you've done for the community.
I mean, I don't know what I did. I think I just dared to be, but
That's brave. I mean, I can't imagine what,
The gag is that it took 12 years for someone to go on stage and do a performance where it was like they were sexually empowered. It was Lil Nas X. 12 years. Because for the longest time, it was like, then it slowly started being like, okay, you can identify as gay, but please don't show it. Mm-hmm. And okay, you can identify as gay if you're the victim. Mm-hmm. But, God forbid you're gay and empowered and confident and strong or aggressive or, you know, it's like, it's been a very interesting road. And I'm really happy for where we're at, because there's now, not only is it like, it's everything. The umbrella is like open wide. I mean, we're seeing, look at the Grammys, for example. Look at the inclusivity.
Yep.
You know, Sam and Kim Petras and
Incredible.
Steve Lacy. You know, there's like all the, there's many more that were honored, but it's just crazy. It's so great, because we're in a place now where I think the important thing is that now that fans are sort of the thing that push the music because of streaming, they have more power than they've ever had. And on top of that, you have the labels now, the major music labels, backing queer artists in a way that they never have before. You know, with Lil Nas's whole campaign, he's got support, he's got financing, he's got a whole team that are like, this is what we want to make, let's do it.
Do you think that this is a generation switch thing too, with the people that are in power?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Okay.
I think the next generation coming up are like a lot less bothered.
Oh my God, I know.
You know,
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. So yeah, every once in a while I go, man, it was like wrong timing, but
yeah,
but I'm still here. I'm still doing my thing. You know.